Hi, this is Jason Menfield from Blueprint, and today we're going to talk a little bit about how enterprise architecture fits into Agile. A lot of the documentation that you might read around Agile really focuses on minimizing upfront work, and if you read the core Agile documentation, it makes a point of saying that we don't want to over-design or over-engineer our requirements heading into a project until we understand a little bit more about what we're building, and let's make sure that we understand enough about the customer. But we do need to understand something about the customer. So a lot of our product owner or product management books are starting to incorporate concepts of spikes for understanding the customer a little bit, understanding what the design of the solution needs to look like, also incorporating a sprint zero that might start ahead of time. But really, when we start to look into more complex environments, this understanding of the customer actually becomes a little bit bigger of a piece of your project. So, for example, if we're dealing with a regulatory compliance issue, we need to figure out what the regulation is that we're dealing with, do an interpretation of that regulation. We might have some governance processes that need to be defined, some compliance processes. We've got some non-functionals that exist around that. Even when we're not in a regulatory environment, we might have overarching things like understanding what our business processes are, building capability maps, just building a set of personas for the different customers that are going to use our product in the end. And I think that's where kind of the enterprise architecture really comes into play. As we move forward and we're starting to incorporate SAFe for better release planning, for our Agile programs, I think enterprise architecture is really going to become, really going to play a key part in all of this. We're going to start leveraging enterprise architecture to do some of this so-called upfront work, to understand what our customers are, who our personas are, what the business processes are, the regulations we need to adhere to, and defining these from an enterprise perspective, from a corporate perspective, using that information to get approvals to execute on different projects, get the budget for programs, and that way when our product owners kick off, they're really using that sprint zero to not necessarily do all of this research, but to pull from the information that our architects have already defined and use that to define the first set of epics and user stories so that we can get into execution as quickly as possible. And I think really that's where Blueprint comes into play, is that we want to be able to have a tool that's actually going to tie architecture in with execution, and through the modeling and the traceability capabilities, as well as the reuse capabilities of Blueprint, we can actually make that happen and transition from ideation all the way through execution. If you'd like more information, please contact us at www.blueprintsys.com. Thank you.